we are all okay. So, as I said yesterday, I'll try to see if we can do most of the things today, and then maybe we just finalize next week on Thursday, because I think Friday is somehow a tight day for most of us, so that in case maybe anyone would wish to maybe we recap on something, you can just bring it to our attention, and then we'll be able to again recap until maybe everyone understands. But we are almost done with majority of Excel related things. Any other thing will be more on analytics and presentation in terms of data visualization using Excel. So I'll try to at least touch on one or two, because some of them are too advanced. We need more time to do that. So I believe you can see my screen. So there's this, as I said, we'll be using this as our presentation or our data. So I'll just download it from that site, from the drive. I've already attached a copy on the chart. So let's just download it, and then we start preparing this data. So after downloading, something very interesting about this.
Does Excel whatever.
Kuna option ya kudownload kama Excel.
Anyway, if you download as a CSV, when you open to Excel will do the work. Turn it to an Excel file. And if you download as a CSV, there's no big difference between CSV and the extension of Excel. To just open the same way. When you are saving, you can choose to save as an Excel, as a workbook from your side.
Okay.
Okay, so we've downloaded it, transfer it to where you want to do your work. So mine, I've downloaded it as a CSV first, so that at least maybe for someone on my side, I've not seen that option of downloading it as Excel. So I've downloaded it as a CSV. So there are very much important things that we need to note when you download or you want to start maybe manipulating your data using Excel. Never work on it on CSV, because when you're working it on CSV, when you go and save it as a CSV, one thing you need to know is that data set will reset, or it will start giving you a lot of errors. So the first thing that we need to do is to just look at our data. It's a very nice thing that this is a financial data. So it's something that we can look at and try to understand. Let's assume like maybe our manager or one of the stakeholders want us to look at this data set and build, let's say, even financial models out of it. So there are very much important things that needs to be there in a data set, like let's say a financial data set. Number one, make sure that there are dates. Dates are very much important, not these ones. These ones you can generate yourself, maybe using Excel or using advanced option or using Power Query. You can generate this one very quickly. So date is very important, at least the day by day. Like this one, you can see it's first 1/1/01/01 like that as you go. Okay, another thing, this CSV was converted into, you see the dollar sign here in a CSV. This one will be picked as a text file. So we need to separate the dollar sign from our data set. That is another thing So I want us to work on mostly, do we call it data normalization or something like that? So that at least we can remove some of, let's say, dollar, like this dollar sign. For me on my side, I would want to remove, and I will show you the reason why it's important to remove it from our data set when we are doing our analysis. And then when you just go through this data set, look at a number like this one here. I was looking at this data set, I think yesterday, and I realized this one here, this one is not normal like separator. You can see there's a separator between, separators are usually after every 3 figures. So this one is between the two. So it's an odd separator. So meaning we need to remove at least one. And when you just look through the data set, you can find that it has that error. So we can assume that whoever was updating this data set was making maybe some data entry errors. So those are some of the things in case maybe they were being done manually. And if I am going fast, kindly just tell me so that I reduce my speed. I know I can be very fast sometimes when doing something. So just notify me if you feel you are getting confused somewhere. So the most important thing maybe in our financial data, it's usually, I've said the dates, and then also we look at maybe if the data is normal or abnormal. If it's abnormal, we find a way of cleaning that data set. So at the moment, I've not converted or I've not done anything to the data, so I'll just work on it later. So another thing that I found so odd or out of order on this data set, when you make a mistake with a financial data, it means you are like pulling someone towards a very different direction, or you are pulling someone towards or stakeholders towards a direction that is not normal. So the first thing in a financial data that you need to look at is the sales, let's say sales, and then we have the costs, cost of sale, we call it COGS. Those who are in finance, you understand that. So we call them cost of sales. And then we have expenditures. So expenditures, this and this is almost the same as expenditures. So after cost of sales, we have gross profit. Okay. Gross profit. After gross profit, you do your expenditures. And then from the expenditures, you get your net. Net profit. Profit, and then after the net profit, you do your tax. This is just a simple one. And then after the tax, now you get like what you're supposed now to divide it among, maybe if you are shareholders, what needs to go to the shareholders. If maybe they are, if you want to bring back the capital into the business, you can now decide to plow back the capital into the business. Now, I just want to take an example here. This one here, like for us to get our sales, let's say sales, we just need to use this one here. We have our selling price is here. And then we have the gross sale. Okay, so anyway, let me build this from scratch. So this is the unit sold. So we take the unit sold, we multiply it by, let's say, manufacturing. So this is, you see, it's giving me value. Why is it giving me value? It's because it's reading this one as a text file. Okay, that is the reason why we are getting our values. So, and today we are going to go through formulas in statistical data set. It's somewhere here. Yeah. So you see things like sum, average, count if. There are others here. Let me just open this one here. So we have count I, count blank, count if, sum product, sum if. We have some ifs here, count ifs, average. So ignore the salary there. And then we have the median, mode, max, minimum, and then we have those percentiles. This is more statistical. When you want to do statistical, maybe things, and then we have something like rank, and then rank percentage. So those are the things that we are going to look at. And when you are dealing with statistical data set, at least on these other ones, the ones that we were looking at yesterday, even if you have your data set is not reading, let's say it's in a text file, it will still give you maybe whatever you are looking for. But now statistical data manage set, or when you are working with the statistical data, it's very sensitive. It cannot interpret anything if it's if it's not converted into if it's in a text file. Okay, so that one we are going to work around that, so that at least we can now start working on this. So number one, because this is our original data, we don't do most of our work on the original data. Make a copy of it, and then now you start manipulating your data set, okay? So that you get what is important from what is not important. So number one, I will need maybe to work on removing these commas on my data set. So I will just go Control H to do find and replace. So shortcuts are very key also. Try to understand the shortcuts. I think there is a link that we shared on shortcuts. You need to go through that and understand how to work on these shortcuts. So Control H, there was also somewhere in the ribbon. I don't remember. I saw it somewhere when we were going through the ribbon on find all. I don't know even if it's in the data or where. Let me see if I'll be able to find it here. I tried to look for it. I didn't find it. It disappeared. Mm-hmm. So there's a find somewhere. I'm not able to see it. Yeah, here, replace. You see find and select. So you can come and click replace here. And then now you look at what you are looking for, okay? Number one, I don't want these comma signs, this dollar sign in my data set. Oh, I've forgotten. We are working on a CSV. So the first thing is to convert this one, or let's save this one. You save as, and then you make sure you save it on your correct folder. You change it from comma delimited to, am I clear or I'm not clear? Okay, sawa. So you go to Excel, you click Excel workbook. As we started, you remember we went through the ribbon and we said when you are doing your savings, you need to make sure that you are saving to the correct format that needs to be corrected. So mine, I want to save it as Excel so that I start manipulating my data set. Then oh, there's another one open on the same. So let me do one. So once you save it as Excel, you close the one on, you close the CSV one so that we are able to work on the Excel one. Yeah. So still these are sheets. So this is a workbook. We are working on it to we are working and creating some other sheets inside it so that at least we can be able to like properly manipulate and work on our data set. So number one, you can decide to use the ribbon, click replace, or you click Control H, because each and every time you are going to like find this, each and every time you'll need maybe to do the same thing, you can just use Control H. So what do you want to find? The dollar sign. So you just click Shift and 4. That is what we want to find. And then we find all. We just click find all. After the entire thing has been found, you click now on the replace with. So because there is nothing we want to replace on that part, we just leave it blank like that and then replace all. Once you click replace all, it will just change it will remove that specific part that you need to remove. Now, once you remove it, you see something odd. Once you remove that is when you'll realize there's something odd with these ones here. You can see even they have isolated themselves. They are still in text. Even if maybe we did our calculation here, you can see it gave you a feedback, but you'll find that it's because these, it was units sold by sell price. Let's see, is it the correct one? There, that is the correct one. So units sold times there. That is now the sales, and you'll find that is the same as here. And that is why this one is written as gross sales. So it's supposed to be just sales. And then cost of goods sold, let's see, it's supposed to be the unit sold. We are now assuming that the unit sold is the same unit that was manufactured. Okay, so this is the unit manufacturing price. So from the manufacturing price, we'll be able to find the cost of goods sold. And then now you do the sales minus the cost of sales to be able to find the gross profit. And then let's see if we are able to see any other. Now this one, you'll find that after now finding that, you'll find that this cost of sales, not unless maybe we want to see some other products who are being purchased. So it does not mean that this cost of sale is wrong. It means maybe there's something that was left out from the sales. And we can prove that using, let's say there is a discount, like this one, this item here has some discount. So also sometimes try to just do, this one is still we are still under maybe analysis so that we understand our data. So don't get confused on that. So that once we start doing our analysis, we know what we are doing. Like this one here, you see this one has a discount here. So we assume that this discount is it per product or let's assume it's a discount per product. Let's find the sales there. I needed to freeze this one, the upper part. Let me freeze. Sometimes it's good to try to freeze so that freeze pen, let me see. Oh, yeah. It's now freezing something else. So it has freezer and freeze. I need to freeze the first row so that when I come here, this is what I need. And this one is not the same as this, so we can use this one. So unit sold. Let's try out that one. Just see if it will give us some sense. Multiply by This one will have to give us some losses because manufacturing price and whatever was the unit price sold is different. So it's giving us 27,000, yes. So we have some discount. So meaning discount is supposed to be out. Yeah, let's put discount. And then we see some of these things are what you use when you do your so something is off. Well, let's say that is the discount. So that is the total discount. So this one is supposed to be, you see that one, it means that is the discount. And then we have now the cost, manufacturing price. So you see when we put manufacturing price here, it's supposed to give us some losses because even if these things were manufactured and were not sold, it means we'll have to get some losses. But here it's giving us, it's telling us that there's a positive sales. But instead, even if you look at the manufacturing price and this one, it's something that is off. So when you're working on your report, let's say you need now to you now have to become now an auditor and now start pointing out issues like that one, because that one is off. Also, this one is somehow off, 600 and 260, and this one is sold at 15 shillings. So it means you need to find that. But anyway, we don't want to question this data set, but that is something you need to point out or to flag. So meaning for our case, we'll have to now work on our gross sales by now subtracting the sales price, correct sales price, this times this one, minus the correct manufacturing price, and then now we get the gross profit, and then you remember we need to deduct the discount so that we get now the correct cost of goods sold, and then now from there we do maybe I don't see any expenditure here. Now we'll just get the cost of sales as the net profit. In case there is any expenditure in future, that one can now be just added, because that one will just be done as a hard-coded data, okay? So from there now, we can now do our analysis. So from this data, we've already removed the dollar sign. Now we need to remove the commas here. So we just repeat the same, and then instead of the dollar sign, we just do the comma, and then find all, and then replace all again. Now it will remove that comma on, now it will remove commas on the ones that you've seen, they were like text files, because it will just remove the text file commas. But now the ones that are already correct, they will not be affected, okay? So what we do, we just select that. You click Control Shift and then down arrow key for you to just return our comma, this one, so that you can now find your data to be correct, okay? Or so that you find your data having the correct separators. Now, once you are done like that, I believe our data set is now ready for analysis. Up to that point, is there any question? Or is anyone confused about anything?
Kindly repeat what you've done. I've just seen that you've selected.
The last
What
part.
did you do? The last part, the way you said that control and shift down arrow key. What have you? I have not seen anything.
I
that
was
has
removing.
changed.
You've seen how we've removed this one, the commas. So it was a shift H, or you just come up here, or at home page, you come to find, and then you replace, and then you do that comma, and then find all. Once you find all, you click replace all. Once you click replace all, any any number format that has been picked as a text file, it will like remove that comma from it. But because the other ones are already, they are formatted with a comma. You see, this one has a comma, comma, comma. So those ones will not be affected because they have already been converted to a number formatting. So the reason why I'm selecting, like, because now I don't know which one has been formatted well, which one has not been formatted well. There are two ways we can use. Number one, we can use table formats, or if you want it to be very quick and fast, you can use the table format and then convert it back into a normal Excel, so that it does not affect your tabulations as you continue. Or you can just decide to select. If I use Control Shift left, it will pick everything. And I don't want to pick the dates. I don't want to pick the months and these ones. I only want to pick these specific ones. So what you do, you select these up to the gross cells, and then click Shift, Control Shift down arrow key. Once you click Control Shift down arrow key, you come and add a comma so that it can separate maybe in thousands. That is the reason why I'm using the comma there. And then there's also another this one here, which is in thousands. Again, I just do the same so that I can have the separator.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Anyone else? Okay, if there is none, I will also show you how to use the format for table, so that, let's say now you've already done, you've already finished working on removing the comma. So you can just decide to click Control Shift left, that is right, and then Control Shift down. It will pick everything that has a data set, and then you come and add a table. This is a table. So you just come and add a table so that it can do the formatting for you. Once you add a table like that, so like this one here, you cannot delete. You see, it will just give you column, or it will have to like format for you the data set. But just imagine you are working with a table like this, and then you want to maybe start running some analysis. You see, it will give you a lot of hard times, and you'll need to like be very much cautious about that. So what you do, once you've converted it to the table like this, you just come and right click, and then come to the tables here and convert to range. You just click convert to range and then click OK. Once you click like that, you can now decide to it will have just gone back to as if it's a normal Excel. Now you can do any manipulations or any work that you want to do in your data set. Okay. I think that is clear. Let me just return it to how it was. And I have realized that it has not added the comma separators. So that one also will have to add. So just allow me to return it to where it was. So I don't want to work on this data set as is, because there are some things that I don't want to work with. So what I'll do is I'm going to do some shifts on this data set, so that in case maybe I could have transferred it to, let me save first that work up to the point that I've reached. Always make sure that you save, because I found out that there are some Excel, when you don't save, it will just return you to where you started. It can even push you back to the CSV part of your work. So always try to save your work. So like this one here. Now, our work for today is to use formulas in statistical formulas to maybe like try to make some sense out of this data set. So number one, what are some of the most important things that we can look out from this data set? So remember yesterday, we were saying it's good to always like create your fact table. So this one is called financials. I will create a fact on the financial and dimensions. Okay. So dimensions will not have any, in our dimension tables, you'll find that there will not be repetition or duplicates. So there are very important things that I'll need to work on from this. So this one I'll say fact. Okay. Now I'll come and create country dimension, because it's more than one country. Country underscore dim. I found that doing it like that gives you like flexibility of like a lot of flexibility. Yeah, that one. So I want to look at, this is product. This is product, and then you do dim. Dim means dimension. So these ones will be dimensions. And I would advise that when you are creating the dimensions, once you are done, transfer your fact table into a very separate workbook. Don't work on it on the same workbook as the dimension tables, because most of your work you will be bringing them to the fact table, because maybe if you are building a dashboard, you will work on the dashboard on a fact part, so that at least you maintain your original data set, and then your manipulated data set, and now the dashboard that you have worked on, so that even if someone is trying to open your data set, they are able to like look at what you have worked on, because let's say this is my fact, and then now I'll have the raw data set without any manipulation. Let me just pull it here. So financial data set that I've not done anything on it. So I'll just pull that one and bring it there. It's not here. I'll just bring it later. So this one is what I have worked on already up to that point. Up to this point, we've not even started doing our statistics. We are still like looking at everything, so that when we are working on our formulas, we don't encounter any challenges. Okay, so from here, I want to pull the product dimension. I'll just shift control down arrow key and then copy, and then bring it here. Let me bring it to that. And then for the country, I will wish to bring the country down here. At B. Let's delete this first. And then what else is important? We have product, we have country product. There's also something else. We have segment. Segment is important. Maybe if we want to look at the analytical part of that data set, we'll have that dim. And then date also is very important because this one is we need to create a primary key for the date. I'll show you how to build it using a dynamic date function, so that at least anytime you are working on any report, you don't need to create a lot of work on your primary, let's say on your fact table. Your fact table needs to just remain the way it is, and then you work on everything outside the fact table, so that even if someone is trying to look at your data, the data becomes clear. So this one is going to be dimension. And then what else do we need from this segment? So from our data set, you'll find that everything we've been pulling it from there. We've been pulling everything from the original data set. So we assume that nothing is going to change from this. There's a way that you can use also formulas to pull specific data from the original. That one is maybe when you want to do your automation on the data set. So for this one, we are not doing that for now. We just want to see how to now just build your data so that at least you can maybe build your reports as we move forward. So at this point, we've picked the most important things. Product, we've done product, discount, no need for looking at it. The rest are figures, which we'll just need. You can see that I've not pulled this one. From here, we can decide even to delete this one. It will not have any effect. And you can see on the date, the dimension, I've not picked this date dimension and then brought it here. Okay, you will see how we'll just pull that one from using Power Query. We'll just build a date dimension that is going to be flexible. So what I need to do is to remove duplicates from this side. So if you want to remove the duplicates and remain with a specific data set, non-duplicate data, and that is the reason why we separated, you just come to data here, and then on the data, you come and remove duplicates, and then click remove. From here, you'll find that we only have government, mid-market, channel partners, enterprises, and small businesses. So this one is our segment dimension. So you can just work on most important thing is to make the eye see good things so that you don't get confused. You can decide to number them, like that one is 1, 2, 3. You can also work on, there's a formula for automatically adding that. So you leave it at that. Now you come again to product the same way. Go to data, go to remove duplicates, remove everything, see how many products you have. Instead of coming to your fact and then creating a lot of, creating a lot of filters. You see, this is a lot of work, which you'll find that. And then once you filter, you just look at it. Next time you come again, look at it. And then maybe you come to another thing. Even this one is important. Discount, we can create the one for discount. It's very important. I've seen it has a lot of things. This is how I like working on my work. And then later, you just come and create connection on each and every work. So from this data set, one data set, we've been able to create this. And that is why I said dimensions, create them on a separate workbook so that you don't clutter your workbook, okay, your original workbook. So that one you'll see now as we move. But at this point, we just need this. And sometimes even all these things, you can just put them in one dimension table. Currently, we can just put it on one dimension table so that we work on it, on the formulas. But when you are using the Power Pivot and Power Query, we will use separate workbooks. So once I'm done with this one, I'll be able to create a copy so that we can use it later. So that one is for discount, date, segment, country. So here we are working with Canada, Germany, France, Mexico, and United States. Products, we are working with these ones. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then segment, we are working with government, those ones. Dates, we are yet to know the dates. And then we have the discount brand. We have none, low, medium, and high. So once you are done with that, we can save our work. And because we are going to work with Power Query and Power Pivot, let me create a copy of my data set up to that point. Up to that point, is there any question or any confusion? As I'm saving this.
You're saving it as an Excel?
Yes, I'm creating a copy of it because I'll need it when we are working on when we are working on Power Pivot and Power Query.
Okay, sasa.
Yeah, I'm just transferring so that we don't repeat the same thing. Now, we are done with initial steps, okay? So, here, I can now decide now to move most of this data. I don't need it here for now. So I need these ones I'll need to shift now this one to one, let's say one workbook, no worksheet. Like this one here, I can decide to move it to the segment part. So that is discount. This one is product. Can now delete this. Don't need it. Country. Can move it there. So this is what we do what you do on the back end. When you start, it will look so noisy and messy. So most of the time, you don't mind the noisiness and the messiness, because it depends with now what you need to do. For formulas, you see I'm moving them to one worksheet. But for analysis, I'll move the entire dimensions into a different workbook, okay? Because now these ones, if I move them to a different workbook, I'll have to make a lot of linkages and a lot of things, which maybe when you lose something small, it will just affect the entire analysis. So that maybe when I'm moving everything, I'm just moving it together. So I think the discount is there. Now you remove this. And then this one is when maybe we are doing our analysis. So I want to do some shifts here so that at least I can be able to do what I want to do for now. So I want to do sales to change some things here. Let me remove the filters. I like having my dates as the first part here. So I'll just shift some things. So country, product, unit sold, unit manufactured. Let me just create because I need to maybe to work with costs. Let's say this one is cost
Sitakuwa
of
tu cost of sales.
Cost of sales. I need the exact correct figure. So so you just do the subtraction. It's normal subtraction. And then you double click. When you double click, it just copies downwards.
Umesubtract nini na nini?
Sorry. I'm supposed to multiply, yes, this by this to get cost of sales. And then I'll need to find sales.
Cost of sales ama sales? Itakuwa sales. Cost of sales unakonga umetu cost ya product.
Cost ini manufacturing costs.
Direct cost.
Yeah, see direct cost.
It's a manufacturing or direct because you are using it's a cost that you are using to manufacture.
By the way, inaweza kuwa direct cost.
So direct costs or manufacturing cost.
Manufacturing cost.
Yeah. Sales. This is sales price. Now, here I need to mark these. So that nijue hiyo ni yangu. I've just worked on those formulas. And then price. So this one, I need to change this one to sales. Let me just build it from this multiply by this. Same, I change that. I'm sorry. So I saw that issue, and for me, I can't work with something that I think it's not working. So, and then we are already given the discount. So let me remove this one, and then work on cost of goods sold. So it's sales less in a car reverse, but it will give us what we need. Yes, and then also we minus the discount.
I think other discounts have text.
It's a text format.
Now it will work.
Oh, umetoa kwa dash. You've removed the dash.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Oh, supposed to do.
You put 0, you replace with a 0.
Make a comma to general to number. Now this is funny.
You can try use the find, maybe find blank.
Okay, Control H.
I like the column first.
I replace with 0.
Yes, first of all, I like the column. Yes.
Now it will find all the blank in the nini.
Yes, and all. Try Control G on your keyboard. Special. Blanks. Choose blanks. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No, said it seems like there's a space here, Cindy.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a space. So I need to replace space with yeah, it's the space that is.
It is space.
Yeah. Control F.
Yes.
Not Control F. Or replace, yes. Cindy.
Yes.
Space. Find all. Replace all.
Yeah, thank you. To work.
Yeah, it's working.
Correct.
These are the things we face sometimes. We spend the entire day thinking. Okay, so I think am I still audible?
Yes.
Awesome. So for profit, because I said we don't have any other expenditure, so we'll just have the cost of sales as our expenditure. I don't want to dwell on the taxes and so we just continue with what we have. So there are a lot of, this one will give us a loss. I'm sorry, that is curiosity that is driving me. And then I think what we need is from here to this point. It's not that we don't need this one, we still need them, but we will see how to make it somehow interesting, because sometimes when you're working with this thing, you need to make it somehow interesting. Now, so these are our segments. So maybe we want to look at what? Let me also pull the year from this part so that we can work on the year when, so that I can use the year when maybe I want to do the shifts or the drifts. So from here, let me remove duplicates and try to understand our years. Now, this is what I feared. You see, we are still having, we have 2024, 2014, and 2013.
Some might be test. For me, what I normally advise on our date column, it's better to use a function called text to extract years directly from the date. So
Yeah, that's true.
it makes you work with
Let's see. Sometimes you can find that even that text cannot work because of the locale.
okay.
Let's see. If it doesn't, we will be fixed. Comma.
Quotes.
We are doing month.
Okay.
No, year.
Yes, triple Y.
That one is giving us 2014. Oh, it's working. Let's see. Let's say this one is year. Anyway, we have 2013 and 2014, so it will not give us a lot of. So what I need to do, I need to make them fixed because I don't need any formula in this part. So what else have we worked on? We have worked on that and this. So I need them in a different color so that I know that is what I need. So what you do, just copy the entire data set like that. And then you can decide to use your shortcuts. H, I need to copy, and then I need to paste it exactly where it is so that I remove my, just a minute so that I show you what we are trying to do. When you come to formulas and then you go show formulas, you'll be able to see where the formulas are. These are the things I don't want from the data. So I want to remove them for now. So those are part of the formulas. And if you can realize, we've already started doing our statistical formulas. Like these ones they are just formulas that we are using to just understand our data. Okay, so you can click show again to remove them. So I want to copy everything and remove those formulas for now because I don't need them. You go home, copy, copy. Okay. Once you copy, and then you go again, you again use Alt and then H, and then you paste. I want to paste, and I want to paste value. I don't want to paste formulas or formats. So you click V and then V again. So when you come and check, there are no formulas anymore. So even if I come to data, so if you want to double check, you just come to show formulas and check if there is any formula in your data. You see there's nothing. So we've just removed the formulas from our data set. So that at least we can proceed. So I just click formulas again to remove them. And then I want to just return everything together like that. Once you are done, now I think our data set is now ready. So now start. So statistical formulas, I want to start with these ones here very quickly. And then now we go to the counties and count. So I'll just copy that so that I can be guided by it. So let's use our profits to check what we want to look at. So, okay, there's also count here. Okay, so these are some of the statistical formulas that we are going to look at the moment. Kindly give me a minute and then I continue. Let me just take a small. If just try to look at this, what is presented, and then I'll continue in just a minute.
As also checks, anyone who has a burning issue or question can raise it as we give all the time to take.
Onesimus.
Yes, our boy.
There was somewhere he said that sijui you were to copy and to paste with the values. What was he doing exactly? Because I think my net fluctuated. I wasn't seeing what he was doing.
So what he was trying to do?
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to do away with the formulas. To have the numbers as an hard-coded number. So what he did,
Mm-hmm.
he copied the data in the normal way, but when pasting the data, he chose special, but paste special.
Where did he copy the data?
On the same table, on the same data, the whole data set.
Or he selected the same data set and then on pasting I choose special, you paste with values or something of the sort.
Yes, paste values on it.
That will remove the formulas. It won't affect like whatever you've calculated and whatnot.
It will paste the values at the result of the formula.
Oh.
So it will do away with the formula, but give you the result of the formula as it is.
Also, if it goes like into the financials, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
there'll be no formulas like the ones that he had calculated for sijui profits, sijui what, sindio?
That's correct.
Oh, okay. Sawa.
Okay. Anyone else? Yep. You have anyone else? Kevin or Roach? Good evening.
Okay, now I'm back. Thank you for waiting.
Okay.
Okay, I believe we are now good. If you feel you are getting confused, kindly bring it out. This thing we can be somehow sometimes tricky, and it's understandable. Now I can continue. So there are statistical functions that we are going to work out with, and the reason why we were working on normalizing our data here was because I think you've seen when we tried to do a formula, something happened whereby it gave you a value function, so a value feedback. So that one, that is the reason why we were trying to normalize our data set. So when it comes to statistics, we have count. In the count category, we have count, count A, count blank, count if, and then we have count ifs. The ifs has an F, S at the end. And then average, we have average, and then average ifs, and average if also, almost the same as that. And then what else on the average? I think we can look at that. And then for some, we have some if, and some ifs also. So those are some of the things that we can use to manipulate our data and even build a small model out of it at the end of the day. So let's start with count. What does count do? Count will always count. Yes?
Apologies. I will have to leave the meeting. I have something that's urgent. Please, apologies. Okay. Apologies.
It's okay, no problem. Okay. I think we'll just work on the remaining time, and then whatever remains, we'll just push it to next week.
My apologies. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So when it comes to the counts, count, we have count, we were here. So we have count. Count will count the numeric data. And then we have count A, meaning count all. It will count everything. We have count blank, it will count all the blank data on your data set. And then count ifs, in case maybe you want to look for a specific, it's like a lookup, okay? And then we have count ifs. Count ifs will like count, in case you want to look up on more than one specific value in your data set. That one, we are going to look at it just right now. So let's say I want to count, maybe I want to look to count the numeric data set in my data set that has values, okay? We'll try by counting the text files is equals. You just start with equals at the end of the day. I think most of Excel function or spreadsheet functions, you have to start with an equal sign. So you start with count. Once you start clicking count, you will see all of them here. So I will look at count, count A, count blank, count if, and count ifs. These ones I'm not sure about. I don't think they are within. I'm not sure about them at the moment because some of them are new. So we have count. Let's try and count. So when you click count, first of all, you'll find that it's telling you value 1, value 2, value 3. So you can take 1, 2, 3 values and then look at the counts of those values. So what I need is a count. Let's say we count the segment column. You just click shift down, and then you can decide to, you see it will give you 0. But at the end of the day, the count segment has some data. So here, I'll want to go below kidogo, maybe to 10, so that we are able to see what we are trying to do there. So that one will give you 0. But when we look at, let's say count, when we count, let's say the gross profit, the profit part, net profit part here, you will see it will give you 700. So here we went to 701. I wanted to go to 710. You can change on that part. And I want also to change this one to 710. Okay. And then count A. Count A will count both numeric and text file, but not blank. Okay. So if we say, let's just copy this. I'll just use the same columns. I'll just copy that. Okay. And then paste it here. But now change this one to count all, count A. And then it's very important to always, because we are copying a column, we can add the $sign so that it does not shift. So it will still count for you 700, and this one will also count for you the same 700. It will still count for you the 700. So the difference is that this one is a text, this one is a text, but now we are counting everything in that. We are counting everything that is available. And now let's say, let me copy this part here and transfer it. That is the reason why I added some parts there. So you'll find that it's 707. And when you come here, let's say this is 700, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's counting all the both text and numeric data set in your data set, okay? So count blank. Let's count the blank ones. So you'll just come and copy this one here. I'm copying the formula only so that I can change. To avoid going and copying and doing it once and again. Count blank. I hope I'm still in the meeting. If I drop, kindly notify me. So count blank. You click enter. So there are only 9 blank on that. So here it will give you 3, I assume. So it's giving me 2 blanks, okay? Oh, because we are not starting from A something there. So that is why it's giving me that one. So at the end of the day, you'll find that there's a difference between the 3, okay? Now, let's say I want to count specifically. Let's say I want to count let me use M. Okay, no problem. So let's say I want to count if is just like an if. Okay, let's say we want to say count if. So this one we are going to just take specific range, okay, and specific criteria, okay. So specific range, we are just going to count in this entire set, let's say entire set that we have, we want to count in this entire set, how many times does maybe, how many times are we seeing, let's come here first and finish the, let me check that like that. And then I want to put data validation here that will pick something from my segment, my dim segment, okay? So I'll just come here, comma, and then I want to create something here that I will use. Count ifs. For now, it's giving me 0 because there's nothing here. So at B4, I want to come here and pull the segment here. So I'll come and go to data and then go to data validation. And then I want to pull from a list. Okay. When I click list, I go between and come here and bring this one. Oh, I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm not supposed to use a formula. So that is what I need. Okay. So let me look at just a minute again. Let's repeat this. Validation. To not accept. Let me just pull the entire here. I'll just hide it later. Can just copy this and bring it there and create the validation. But there's a way you can just do that from a different sheet. Oh, see where the problem is. Yeah, I was trying to put an equals. No, I was trying to close the parentheses at that point. So where are we picking? Picking it from here. So I'll just come here. Sometimes you can get those confusions, so it's normal. You come to validate. Now I can decide to pick anything. So from our data set, government is appearing 300 times on this data set. Mid market is appearing that times. So it's usually good to use count ifs if maybe you want to find something like specific, something specific on that data set. Okay, let's try also this on this specific sheet. Am I clear or am I fast? So you can use count if here to just check So let's say here, and then use function to proof mark that, and then you come and do government or that specific this one here criteria, like you look at the range and then the criteria. So this one shows that government appears 300 times. Let's say when you come to this one, our function here, when you look at government only, it's 300 times. Let's see mid-market, it's 100 times. So mid-market is appearing here. So when you just drag this one down, you'll see it's appearing 100 times on this data set. So if you want to find duplicate, mostly this one is usually used when maybe someone wants to find duplicate in a specific column. So you can use that, and then you can now try to filter your data set to find out like how your data set is appearing. So you can see count if, that is how it's used. Count ifs, that one you cannot use one criteria. You will need several criteria, so we can put it back, that part on the side. So when it comes to average, you just use average. So we have average A, average if, and then average ifs. So the ifs also works the same way the count works. So when you do average ifs, it will just give you the average of a specific set. So you just use almost the same way. So when you take the average, it will ask you of number. So you'll just come here, and then you will pick. Let's say we want to pick the cost of goods sold, the average of the cost of goods sold. Okay, that one has hanged. Just a minute, my PC is hanging. Any question in the meantime as it's loading? Hey guys, are we still together? Just a minute. Is something wrong with my PC? I think because of also time, we can continue from that point next week. if we'll still have time, so that I just finish on this and then now shift to the other part. Okay, it's back. I was in average. So let me just finish from average and then we will finish up on Thursday. I think now Thursday we'll have to just finalize on everything. So I was saying when it comes to average, okay, it's average. Average, and then you come and pick the specific, let's say like this one here. Again, okay, it has picked. It has again gone again. Okay, once you just pick it and then you click enter, it will just give you the average of the amounts that are here. So it's just like the normal average, 1 + 1, and then you find the average of 1 + 1, maybe. That is how it will just calculate for you. So from there, we can just work on the other ones. So I think time is not on our side. We can ask the questions today and then finish up on statisticals next week, and then now finalize on most of them next week. In case you will still have some time, we can do anything that will have left. Maybe once you familiarize yourselves with the ones that we've already trained. So I don't. If there's any question, you can ask. If you are lost somewhere, you can also ask so that I guide you on the same. I think also my PC is telling me it's time. So yes, any question? I'll stop my presentation at this point.